No. You're
my
fine.
Because my dad, he says the same thing. He's
Your dad tells you that you have a bad vocabulary?
He's like, you're such a fucking idiot. And I'm just like...
Jesus, we're going to talk about that today, too.
Dad, I know you're being funny. No, I'm not! I'm being serious.
Alrighty. Double Dose. Jacob V. Weekly. Pre-recording. Joe, can you go kill that record? So we don't get flagged. Yeah. I don't know if you can hear it. We had a lovely Father John Misty live at Third Man Records in the background as we were getting set up. But, we were... I was driving around playing Pokemon Go this morning and was going over my show prep for today and really felt ready to go. So we were trying to jump on. Again, that's original intro music. I was about to plug, my impulse for some reason was to plug the intro music. Be like, yeah, that's brought to you by, guess what? Us. So.
Is your audio coming in a little hot?
No, it's good. It's good. I got it all dialed over in the ATEM here. Let's just take a peek at some of our check-a-doodle. No, yeah, we're good. I was playing with this probably. I should probably give that a little sip. Woo! Okay, so my God, Joe, how are you? We've hardly talked. I wanted to go in hot because I haven't talked much today.
I'm doing okay. My sleep apnea machine fell off last night. So I'm a little groggy, but I'm pulling through. I had some Lion's Choice to kind of break me out.
You're turning into me. You need to. Well, I didn't even know you had sleep apnea. I didn't know it was contagious. I must have given it to you.
Yeah.
And then you're eating Lion's Choice by yourself, like a psycho killer.
Okay, look. The location near me is one of the most quaint, clean.
You're going inside?
Oh, I'm going inside.
Oh, I love this.
They don't have a drive-through, but it's just as clean, and the clientele, they're all just these adult people with shirts on, and they're like...
What does that mean?
They're like, don't talk to me, and I'm like, thank you, and that's
so you go in and a bunch of clothed adults just don't talk to each other?
Yeah, like that's how...
That does sound nice.
Yeah, it's kind of like being at a strip club or something, it's just like, you're just sitting there, just let me do my thing. You know what I mean? Like
with the other patrons, you mean? You're not acknowledging, oh, hey, buddy, we're both at in this case, the Lion's Choice, or right. Like you were saying, the adult entertainment establishment.
Right.
Whether that's a movie theater or a dance, I almost said farm, dance factory. Dance farm. Actually, if we opened a club and called it Dance Farm, I'd go to that at least once.
Yeah.
Dance Farm?
Yeah.
The musical? It's been a crazy week. So, I mean, crazy week. Anyone that's in my industry in education knows that, schools that week before Thanksgiving, that's its own challenge. And, we made it. That's all, that's all that happened, really. How about you? Joe, did you have classes this week? You're off the whole week.
No, I did have class. I did a project due on Monday.
Yeah.
And I've got a project due this Monday. And they give us work. I think they're trying to speed up this semester. So.
Yeah, they probably want to put the kibosh on that.
Yeah.
If they could just email you a final and peace out, girly. Yes, honey.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. I've been saying that.
Yeah.
Oh. My wife's been doing our budget, and she told me I have a $40 a week Coke habit. Diet Coke. $160 a month on Diet Coke, apparently. She got me a really cute Christmas ornament that's sparkly. It's a sparkly, can of Diet Coke. You know what I mean? It's not a full-size can, but it's small, like a Christmas ornament size that would be appropriate for a Christmas tree.
It's the only thing that would, be more trashy if it was the original size.
That's what I asked originally when she told me what it was, because I got too excited to wait to open it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, is it like full size? She says, no, it's like, maybe a third of the size. But then I was reminded that my poor sweet cousin Amy, God rest her, people in that family, in that part of my family, seem to have this habit of burying their loved ones with like consumable items that they enjoyed throughout their life. Apparently, this isn't common. Have you seen this?
What am I?
So, like, okay, for example, I'm looking at my Diet Coke ornament that my wife got me, and I love it. But then I'm thinking of my poor sweet cousin Amy when I was at her funeral. It was an open visitation, and there was a can of Diet Coke in her casket with her body.
It probably exploded because of the pressure underground.
I don't think that's how that works. The boxes are made out of wood.
I saw.
And I'm certainly not trying to make fun of anybody here. I'm just thinking about. No. It's because it's kind of silly. It's kind of silly, right? It's kind of crazy. Well, here's the thing. I was thinking about that, and I told my wife about that, and my wife didn't know that people really did that. And I said, it happened at her grandfather's funeral also. My great-grandfather, Sylvester, God rest him, in his casket were, like, Raisinets. Like, somebody got him a gift card. Like, he was, like...
Gift card?
It was super Egyptian.
That's awesome.
I'm thinking that there's maybe one person in that family that does it. Because, like, for example, my lovely, sweet, dear Aunt Pat, that's my common relative with all of these people that I'm thinking about. I go to these funerals and they have Diet Coke and Raisinets in their casket with them. I'm thinking maybe it could be one person. I'm not saying it's her, but I'm saying they have a common link. So it could be just this part of my family that does that. My cat is trying to kill me right now. You better get out of here, honey. He jumped up and put his claws in my gut meat like he was going to climb me like a cat tower, and I can't have it. He loves when we're talking. He wants to come visit. He just loves the sound and he wants to be a part of it. But good God, they weren't declawed because, we're a humane...
Christians.
We're a humane rescue home. Oh, God. I was thinking about this the other day. I had to tell you this story. I almost fucking died in an O'Charlie's when I was a kid. Like, I want to say middle school. It was when I had braces, I think.
The old O'Charlie's I almost died death story.
Yeah. Because my grandfather couldn't... Here's the thing. My grandfather, it was just me and him, and he couldn't hear me choking.
Set us up.
He couldn't, so I'm sitting at an O'Charlie's. He's pretty deaf from working in car plants, and I had like an orthodontist appointment or something, which is why it was just me and him. Usually it would never be just me and him, be me and him and my brother, or me and him and my grandmother and my brother, but it was just me and him, and he can't hear. And I fucking take down this fat wad of buffalo chicken meat off this sandwich, like too big of a bite. I'm known to do this. I eat too fast, I get way too excited, and I just go after it. And it, like, plugs my throat. I got a wad of breast meat just plugging my throat. And I'm going... And I'm looking at him. I'm looking at this deaf motherfucker in this O'Charlie's. And I'm thinking, oh, my fucking God. I'm going to die here at 12 or 13 because this guy can't hear. Because he wandered around car plants for 35 years.
It'd be funny if at 13 you were, like, mad at him for it.
Well, I didn't want to get mad because he didn't know. Because here's what happened: is I ended up just being able to swallow it. It wasn't comfortable, but I was able to get it down, and that's the real journey. There it was, again, a bite that I had been chewed. I was not trying to woof it, but it was just, shout out to O'Charlie's, beautiful whole breast meat. You know what I mean? That they use in that buffalo chicken sandwich. I don't even know if that location is still open. We used to go there a lot. They used to have that cheddar potato soup. And the hot rolls with it. Like, I'm thinking, right after 9/11, that era.
O'Charlie's in my mind is the kind of...
The aughts, they call it, 2000 to like 2008 or whatever. That's what they call that decade now. It's so dumb. But I was thinking you would know. They call it the aughts. Hold on, my brother's calling me. Hey, Bug, you're live on air on Jacob V Weekly. I forgot to turn my phone on silent because I didn't want to lose the magic, so I just...
Oh, that's fine. Whenever you're done recording, give me a call back, okay?
Okay, are you okay?
Everything's fine. Just gonna talk to you about something.
What is it? What is it related to?
It's related to Mom and Donnie, and it's not business for Jacob the Weekly.
Jesus Christ.
All right, bye.
Bum, bum, bum.
That tone was so...
Motherfucker.
It was just... it was like, oh, shit. That was so great.
How come hot dog water is gross, but broth isn't?
That's a Midwest question for you.
Is it really? I'm just thinking, like, how... I mean, isn't that what broth is? It's just, like, deep hot dog water. You boil a carcass until it's murky, and then you put that in soup.
Who was using... Somebody uses hot dog water for something. I can't remember.
They better not. They better fucking not.
I can't remember.
Don't let me hear about it.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway. Maybe it's a Midwest remedy for something.
Like what? Rickets?
I don't know. I feel like that's something that, like, my...
Hot dog water for rickets.
I feel like that's something, like, my Midwest grandmother would tell me while, chugging a Busch Light. Like,
You
need hot dog water. That's something that you would do. Like, smoking a cigarette in the pond.
You need hot dog. Put some hot dog water on it, maybe a little lemon juice under his eyeball.
Yeah, you're right.
God, I was talking to I'll just say an associate who has COVID right now, we think. We were on a Zoom call, and she was from home, and, she's having all her groceries delivered and, everything, but really the only person she sees is her boyfriend. She's, like, maybe in her 40s, maybe 50s, but she's on that bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. Do you remember this?
I shouldn't be laughing at that.
Do you know this? No. It's a good thing. It's like a proactive. She loves it, but it makes. And I hate to even say this but I hear this trend on other podcasts too. It makes old ladies really fucking horny.
Oh.
The bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. It makes it like it. I mean, it probably is good. It re-establishes your hormones as they're intended to be, or something.
Bioidentical
hormone replacement therapy. They put like 2 big pellets under your skin and your ass, and you're good to go for like a year.
Under your skin.
Oh yeah, dude. They put these slow release pellets under. I'm telling you, you got to look this up. It's crazy. But anyway, I've noticed that older couples love it, and I think it's because they bone it out. I think it's because they're boning.
Are they? What?
So, the reason that's related, she only would have gotten it from her boyfriend, who is, I'm assuming, a gentleman of her age, and that's the only person she really ever sees, other than her son, who's in high school, that lives with her, but they don't necessarily, meet face to face as often. And she was saying he got it from a buddy. It was just him and his buddy in the woods on a fishing trip for like 4 days. Turns out his buddy had it the whole time and nobody knew. And so now she has it, and she was, nice enough to still meet with me remotely for the business we were doing a little business.
Getting some hormone therapy?
No, it was unrelated to the hormone therapy, but that's just the connection I made in my head.
You got your Twitch set up now, Jake? Twitch?
Going back in. Brief interruption. My goodness. Joe, how are you over there?
They wouldn't have known. You could have just thrown it back in.
Yeah, we may still.
Okay.
We may still, because, it's 2 separate video files at this point. We could glue them together at any point. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, God, I've been jotting down headlines all week. All kinds of stuff that I thought we may want to talk about related to some of our previous conversations. Did you see there was a militia that planned to kidnap public officials and execute them on TV?
Talking about the Michigan...
Apparently there's a series of plots, like the one to kidnap Claire McCaskill that was debunked, or not debunked, but foiled, and a couple other like that, where there were groups of self-called militias that wanted to kidnap these officials, and these are the things that were kind of foiled by the intelligence agencies and the police and whatnot. But apparently it's come out that the plan was, for some of them at least, to execute these public officials on live TV like the fucking Joker. So that's great that that's happening. That's part of the conversation that we haven't talked about that I notice online is, when you have this kind of division politically, that that's part of the conversation that comes up is, would people take up arms to defend certain decisions or elections in this case or whatever. You would think I'd learn to put my phone on vibrate. But like we've talked about, I think the military is still very much with the establishment, and so I don't think any of that stuff is as viable as it may sound on the internet, but that's horrifying. It's horrifying. That's really happening. People are setting plans in motion and getting arrested for planning to detain, kidnap, and execute public officials. So I had to get that, off my plate. In better news, Starbucks baristas are getting 10 and 11% pay bumps based on time with the company.
That is fantastic.
That's a way to lead by example. I see a lot of people that seem happy to work there. The people at my location over here are very enthusiastic and polite, and I'm Facebook friends with some of them coincidentally, and they don't complain about work on Facebook. So that must be the truth, right?
Yeah. They need to do that with Smoothie King.
What about it?
Some of these people, they get all these high schoolers working there, and I'm not saying high schoolers shouldn't work there. I'm just saying, when you lower, I think it's great for a place to have high schoolers. I think it's great to have a place where high schoolers can work and work with their friends. But I feel like, some of the productivity at some of these establishments are kind of waning.
Well, right now with COVID too, anybody that pays too low, I mean, if people are going to be able to net unemployment that's greater than what they're typically making there, which I'm not saying is good or bad, it makes some sense right now. Why am I going to go work the night shift at a 24-hour McDonald's? You know what I mean? Yeah. Unless I'm making something that's going to be competitive therein.
However, the night shift at the Creveport location, the 24-hour McDonald's, always kind, always excited to see you.
Don't do that. Who are you talking to? What did I tell you about addressing my audience?
All right.
Joking.
I'm just talking to you.
Joking.
I know, just kidding.
I just don't want to dox your address. I don't want people to show. I don't want
You shouldn't have said joking. You should just.
I don't want our one Russian listener to show up at your house. Not that Russians would do that. Just I noticed on Podbean that we have somebody listening that at least their VPN says they're in Russia. So that
is weird.
So shout out to your VPN and the Russian zip code hosting that signal on your behalf.
This cat is desperate.
The Starbucks thing got me thinking that the economy is kind of like the environment and energy and a lot of these things that we used to be able to worry about because we didn't have more immediate issues. But we're not even 100 years out from World War II, and that was really when the blossoming of our quote great American economy, as they call it, took place. And you looked at all the growth at the time and to the people at the time designing what became the framework of our modern economy. You don't see a plan for how to transition as things progress. You don't see a plan for tapering off dependency on certain resources as supply changes, for example. You know what I'm saying?
Sounds like some Yang Gang shit to me.
What? Don't you even? But you would think they would plan for that. You would think they would plan for, okay, so in 100 years when we start to run out of X, how do we transition to something more sustainable? Eventually people are going to ask that the people running their society do a better job of this, right? Eventually, people are going to ask that Kim Kardashian's $1 million birthday island getaway and literal children starving to death don't need to exist in the same place, right? And it seems so crazy that we're still fighting about coal, and we're still fighting about oil, the peak oil, and because there's such an overproduction right now because they opened the floodgates. Oh, it's so inexpensive, so it feels like it's not going to go anywhere. Joe, do you not like oil?
I mean, I just think it's funny that, all they need to do to distract you from those issues is just virtue signal something else. So, like,
Yeah. Right now it's COVID. Right now it's
no, the island thing. It's like, hey, what about the island? And all that Kim Kardashian needs to do is look at that bathroom. Look at that bathroom over there. It doesn't.
Hello.
There's a gender on it.
I'm turning 40. Look at the bathroom.
Look at the bathroom. And the people are like, yeah, did you see that bathroom? And then boom, it's over.
Like,
the whole conversation is deterred.
I keep doing this thing. Like, my buddy Zach explained to me that, like, Arizona teas stay at 99 cents per can because they're constantly improving their margins on the vessel, being the aluminum can. You know what I'm talking about? The big Arizona 24-ounce teas.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
A bargain at any price. It's like Jack in the Box tacos. We're 2 for $1 for like 30 fucking years.
Eventually, they're just gonna throw them at you.
Yeah, now I think they're finally like 2 for $1.50 because enough assholes like me would come and just get like 40 tacos. But their relationship, their overhead on that taco was not stagnant that whole time.
You gotta prepare. I gotta be prepared for this kind of research, Jake. This is intense. I mean, I know you had it in the file. But like Jack in the Box's relationship with the overhead of that taco, he was always working on how to optimize that operation for that taco, even if it was a loss leader, even if a 45-cent taco got you in the door for a $3 fountain soda, because the margin on that must be crazy, and those sodas aren't even that good. We've talked about soda on this show before. We have a hierarchy of places we like to get soda, and then you can get food from wherever you want. I don't understand the rule that you have to buy the drinks from the same place you get the soda. I mean, the food. Yeah, I mean, you're really defying that norm. You're really attacking that.
Have you had a Diet Coke from Jack in the Box or fucking Hardee's lately?
I have. They're flat.
My God.
Not enthusiastic.
Wendy's?
Oh.
I love the food at Wendy's.
Great.
And sometimes their Diet Coke is fine. But it's never...
electric.
It's never what it's supposed to be. It's certainly never worth $3. It's more ice than... Don't even get me going.
That's the
What did you have at Lion's Choice today, Joe?
I was about to bring up Lion's Choice. I love Lion's Choice because
the crushed ice, like the rabbit,
and
the rabbit food ice.
I don't like the rabbit food ice. It deflates.
Oh my God, I love it. I want it on me.
Oh my! You know where they have that?
The crushed ice is good. Lion's Choice. Did you get a styrofoam cup?
No, I went plastic. They don't have the styrofoam.
That's probably good. So you got a big plastic cup?
Yeah. I mean, it was an adult, Lion's Choice. They're very conscious. They have no styrofoam.
It used to be styrofoam.
They're toasting all the buns there.
Did you get a medium soda? Is that what you're telling me?
I got a large.
Oh, thank God.
I went large. I like their new emblem. This line kind of reminds me of you, actually.
Oh, the new clear cups.
I'm gonna bring it to you so you can show them.
Yeah, bring it up here. And can you go ahead? And can you bring me one of those waters out that fridge while you're over there? We're talking about Lion's Choice. They did get new cups. I don't remember if there's a transitional opaque Lion's Choice plastic cup. I know it's clear with a sort of a translucent red. Thank you for this. Here's a little Lion's. Here we go for the people. Not a sponsor. Not a sponsor yet.
That looks so much like you.
Welcoming it. Welcoming Lion Energy.
I want it back.
I get the king beef and cheddar. Though, the cheddar, I understand the argument against the cheddar if you have one. I understand.
I like the Provel. I love Provel. Anytime I have the option to have Provel.
They have Provel there? You mean provolone?
No, Provel.
They have Provel at Lion's Choice?
Fucking Provel.
Jesus Christ.
You gotta try. Oh my. It melts over. It's like a sauce.
The cheddar is like a sauce.
Right. But this is, Provel. Provel has that texture. That just, it's like everything mayo should be, but as a cheese, and it's great flavor, not mayonnaise flavored, but it's like a sauce. You got sugar water on my pedal board.
That's not sugar water. It's just water.
That's such a dead end.
Good chocolate shakes at Jack in the Box. Have you had the JB chocolate shake?
I've had an Oreo shake from Jack in the Box.
You gotta get just a straight up old school chocolate shake at Jack in the Box. Do yourself a favor. It's a sleeper hit. It's a fan favorite. God. We have some exciting guests coming up. We have guests for the first time coming in.
What?
Hopefully this week we're going to talk to a really good friend of mine that a lot of people are going to be excited to hear from. I'm not going to announce any names until I have commitments and dates. But we're also going to meet with a good attorney friend of ours in a couple weeks to talk something about some election law and just some perspective for kind of normal people like us on kind of if there's any issues still there, or kind of a good friend of ours who's has close professional experience to that kind of field. Also some local talent, another local content kind of dude that I've invited. I was really thinking, Joe, we need to book Beetle Bob.
Beetle Bob.
Oof.
I'm a huge fan. Who is he?
Beetle Bob, are you serious? We definitely would have to book him remotely. That's part of why I'm not announcing who's coming on yet in the next 30 days, because we have some technical things we want to figure out, because I'm not just bringing strangers up in my home, in my sanctuary.
Does this say MILF the Rapper?
Listen. That's a sneak peek.
Okay.
Beetle Bob is kind of like a local celebrity, I guess you could say. He's really like kind of a questionable dude who shows up at live shows and will dance, and he has like a Beatle haircut, and he dresses like old school like Beatles, like the dark suit and the big haircut or whatever, but he also kind of like fucking causes some riffraff on occasion. He's also known to have like one of the area's largest group texts that he will add you to if he gets your number, and then you'll have to block every number that ever replies to that group chat. That is happening currently to a friend of mine.
Dude, he wakes up, dude. I got fucking.
It'll be about whatever. It'll be like shows. It'll be about, oh, check out, I was on KSDK this morning. You can see me in the window. We'd have to book him remotely. I totally understand why podcasters have studios outside of their homes.
I think I do know this.
But like, what if we fucking doxed him? What if we like called him out, because he's like known for like all the theft, and like if we just pulled him like for like walking out on bar tabs and stealing merch from bands and stealing all kinds of things. Apparently, like, what if we just told him we just wanted to interview him, and then he came in and we like, hey Bob, welcome. Listen,
where's my Mac Mini from 2017?
What the actual fuck, Bob? Like if it was like To Catch a Predator, if we were like, Bob, have a seat. We got you a nice little ankle bracelet, Bob. If you struggle, Joe is going to shoot you in the head.
It would be funny. It would be like, what is it? The cop show. It's the Los Angeles cop. The guy has the short shorts on all the time.
No, that's Reno. Reno 911, which is outside of Las Vegas.
Well, and they have the guy who's always in like roller skates or something.
Terry.
What's his name? Terry. It's like Terry. It's like he kind of does
kind of like a criminal that's not really self-aware.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good way to describe Beetle Bob.
Yeah.
Oof.
And he does so much, and he's such a local hit that people don't really care. Like
local hit. I mean,
Beetle
locally.
Bob.
Well, no. A local hit for me. I grew up with Baton Bob. There was a guy we called Baton Bob that would stand in front of Barnes Hospital on Kings Highway in very lovely outfits and twirl a baton and do like a whole routine, and would just up and down Kings Highway in the middle of traffic, dancing and expressing himself. He moved to Atlanta, and then I thought he moved back and got married on the grounds of the Arch or whatever, but I heard he moved away because people kept like beating him up, which is just terrible. But he would be so much better of an interview, I think, than Beetle Bob. We couldn't have Beetle Bob in here. There's too many small things. There's too many. Look, I got this like little adapter. This would be gone. Forget about this. Are you on your phone?
No.
Are you looking up Beetle Bob?
Maybe. Yeah, the only guy that that can come to mind is Crazy Mike, who wanders up and down the loop. He's got all the piercings, like everyone.
Yeah. And he dances in front of the windows.
Yeah, and he kind of screams at you. He's always yelling. He's kind of yelling.
He's loud, a little loud. Yeah. He'll get kicked out of a place, but then he'll be back in there in like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to talk about mental health. Trigger warning. I warned Joe that I had some stuff prepared that I really thought was important to talk about that's going to be kind of deep. Is that okay with you, Joe?
You need the sound effect of the trigger warning. It's just shotgun.
I got this thing.
Well, that's exciting. You need, like, sirens. Like, boo! Trigger warning.
Yikes. This is going to sound fucked up.
Here we go.
Yeah, I used to be afraid that my dad was going to kill me.
Oh, we're going there.
Yeah.
There.
Have I told you this?
Well, no, but I guess I can bring up some fetishes or something to...
No. It's not like that.
Oh.
No, not like that. Some of my clearest memories from elementary school was looking out the classroom door into the hallway, which was because the classroom doors were always open, because that was the cool thing at the time, I guess. And for some reason, I would imagine my dad walking into view and shooting me with one of his expensive shotguns he hunts geese with. And I would look around the room and think about where I would hide if that happened, if he showed up. And that's what I thought about when we started doing those intruder drills in schools when we were kids, and we started doing lockdown drills. I was like, oh, what if it's my dad? What if he's going to shoot me? And this was also tons of background on this. But I would look around the room. I remember doing this in like 5th grade, looking around the room and thinking, okay, where am I going to shield myself behind this MDF table? Like, would this be good enough? Is there a place I can hide? Is there a place that I could like crawl out, like maybe through the drop ceiling? And when I was a teenager, maybe 13, he told me it would be not good if I turned out to be a, quote, pole smoker is what he called it. And he said he had guns that weren't registered, that had never been fired, and would be completely untraceable. This would have been vaguely 2004, 2005. Peak W. Bush, who I remember watching on TV saying, marriage is going to stay between a man and a woman. That's it.
He said that?
On TV, yeah.
That's amazing.
Absolutely. This was, 2004, 2005. I'm 13.
Oh!
In a very awkward, casual conversation, my dad says, yeah, that would not be good. That would not be good if you turned out to be...
a pole smoker.
A pole smoker. And then he said, I have, I've got a lot of guns. It's Missouri, like I was telling you when you showed up today. It's like, you don't necessarily have to have a gun, like, registered or announced. There's a record of it, of a bill of sale, but that's the minimum in Missouri. And so he was explaining at the time...
You're helping out the Russian listener.
Am I telling too many secrets?
Anyway.
Yeah, wouldn't that be great if the FBI, started following us around because we told people, you can just have guns in Missouri. Especially if you don't have a criminal record. Oh, yeah, it's crazy. It's wild out here. But, so my dad says that to me. Around the same time, I'm trying to figure out my identity. My mom has been suffering my whole childhood because I was such a weird little kid. She was just worried about the environment I was going to be in. And am I going to be in a place that allows me to be whatever kind of weird I want to be? But then,
She started with the gun guy?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. This is a great point. And
Mom!
It's so complicated. But, and then Bush is saying that on TV. And then later in California, they legalized gay marriage just in California, but then Prop 8 took it away, the same week of the Grammys or some shit. I remember it was all over TV. I was well into my teaching career, an educated, certificated adult. I was in a summer session serving on a district-wide assessment committee when I got the notification from CNN on my phone that the Supreme Court miraculously ended the same-sex marriage debate. It was miraculously over, and people could just... get married, like humane, real people,
and
right?
Now you're a gay, pole-smoking whore.
Yeah, and there's a target on my back. And it's weird for some people to hear me talk about this because I'm married to a woman, a biological female, and we're both pretty genderqueer. We're not necessarily, she's not super feminine and I'm not super masculine, but we're madly in love and compatible, and we're friends, and she's the hardcore tatted up bitch I've always dreamed of, and I tell her that all the time. And we have a really perfect life together that we've grown together as a unit and developed this lifestyle that we really enjoy, and I have no regrets about that at all. I wouldn't trade my wife for anybody, so I don't want to represent it in a way that it's like that, but I just have these memories from my journey, and I know I'd be different. I know I'd be different if our society was farther along when it needed to be, for me at least. I'd be a different person if we hadn't spent so much time being afraid of letting people be themselves. I'd be different, maybe even happier, if my dad hadn't literally threatened to premeditate and conceal murdering me if I ended up being gay. But this isn't fair. This is not fair to him.
Wait a minute.
This isn't fair to him at all, because I've never told him any of this.
Wait a minute.
He probably doesn't remember saying it.
Pole smoking, you mean second dick?
Yeah, that was his implication.
I thought we were talking about weed.
No, I'm sorry. My dad makes up euphemisms.
That's so weird. Well, maybe he was talking about weed.
No, he was not.
Pole smoking?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, meaning fellatio.
Yeah, but okay. Okay.
So that was something he literally said on the same time that was the debate in the 2004 election, was whether or not was it 2004 or 2005, whatever the year was. Yeah, it was in 2004. Was gay marriage was a huge part of that that election cycle.
I miss that. About
You were too young. You were too young then.
Just
I mean,
go around and say stuff like that.
oh my God, it was wild. And
That's my America.
yeah, where are you going?
I'm gonna turn off the lights.
Why? We already started.
It's just gonna look nicer.
Okay. Great. Okay, should I start some slow music underneath us too?
Turn on "Slow Love" by Prince.
Yeah. Oh my God, I love that song.
Great song.
That's a good one. But here's the thing: this is not fair to my dad at all. I've never told him any of this. He probably doesn't remember that it happened. But I think about it all day, for years now. And maybe if I had known at 13 that I was going to very happily marry a woman, a genetic female, maybe I would have recognized those statements differently. But that's not what happened. And it's really, really hard for me because I love my dad. I am always wishing for that relationship to be something it's never been. I know he feels the same way about his relationship with his father. It's no one's fault. You improve on what you have. You improve on what you have when you get here. And some of us start with more than others. My dad certainly made sure that I started with way more in my journey as an adult than he did. It's totally traceable. I can trace my success back to my earliest opportunities and upgrades in our life. As you know, my parents made decisions to give us access to the best education and to, then later literally fund that for me. I mean, writing checks for thousands of dollars every semester to supplement my tuition expenses, which we were doing very, very cheaply. And that was, not a little bit of money to them at any point, much less then.
I don't understand. I don't understand fathers who don't raise their kids as devout Christians, but also have a problem with being gay. Because I think that's, with my dad, the only conflict he's in.
It's so interesting.
Well, the only conflict he is in is a religious one.
He interprets a mandate from the scripture for that argument, and then it's hard for him to know how to rationalize that with other people who don't subscribe to that same doctrine on the outside.
But I mean, truly and honestly, if he didn't believe that, I don't think he would have a problem with people being gay. But what's weird is there are so many fathers who don't care about Christianity, they don't care about God, but they still have a huge prejudice.
Yeah, because it's also societal, right? And because so much of the framework of society and our whatever subconscious class system we kind of live in, which is natural, it's not a good or bad thing, but that's sort of the variable, right? That's a big part of the thing. It was actually really shocking, when I found out that wasn't Dick Cheney's reaction. We talk about Dick Cheney like he's the devil, but wasn't that weird? Did you see that movie?
I saw the movie
with Christian Bale, and he was really sweet about it.
He was cool.
That's crazy, and because I remember that at the time, I remember thinking, what is going on? Bush is really sticking to his guns. This is 2004, 2005 on the gay marriage thing, and Cheney's daughter is a lesbian, but apparently he was sweet to her about it. But then it obviously was not on his radar. I guess he had a much different agenda, as we've learned. That was a crazy movie. We should review that with my brother.
Yeah, that was great.
My brother's a really into movie guy, and so I think that would be a great one for the old.
He's not on this list.
Who?
Yeah,
that's a good point. We should add him to the list of guests. Sorry, I'm referring to my notes from my iPad here. And so part of the reason I wanted to bring that stuff up, my dad will probably never hear this, and if he does, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to out anybody or any dirty laundry, but I just realized it was something that is really important for me to talk about, and I had because to get it out of the way.
It'd be funny if it just
I'm hoping this is late enough in the episode that maybe it doesn't pop onto his radar, and because here's the thing. I mean, I try to write something every week that I think people need to hear in their life right now. That's the point of doing the show weekly, is that we can have topical kind of conversations. And I think forgiveness is such an important thing, not just in our normal journey. I have to forgive my dad every time I choose to communicate with him. And I do, because that relationship is so important to me, because I know that there's love in there. There's just a lot of other obstacles. And, but we don't necessarily understand each other the way that, we would, I guess, if we were more similar ideologically, obviously. And my family's given me so much. And I'm really lucky to have the time and the energy, and like I was making fun of you for before, the vocabulary to articulate these things. I have the privilege to even recognize that, oh, maybe this is a problem. I've been off of, I kind of gave up alcohol when COVID started. And that's been really helpful for this process. I think, that was definitely a part of some of the demons that I was trying to, kind of mask when, I would abuse alcohol previously. It's not a journey that's over for anybody. But I don't think people acknowledge that everybody has something like that they're carrying with them every day that's historical and long-term pre-COVID that they have to wrestle with. And some people never get over those things. Some of the people that that are literally, waddling around totally strung out on heroin in McDonald's parking lot, they're trying to get away from some of that stuff. And they're not doing it in a way that they can even really have a home to do their own heroin in. You know what I mean? So I'm really lucky that I get to sit down and talk about that stuff that's really struggling, that I really struggle with. But that doesn't mean it's not real. And I don't think people are giving themselves enough. I read a headline this week, though, that said, forgive yourself for previously settling for less than you deserve. I thought all I had to do was forgive my dad for saying that one thing that one time. And it just had that effect on me that was, that no one really knew about. But I think about it every day. And I have to forgive myself for not being more vocal about being upset about that sooner. Maybe I didn't take it seriously. Maybe I wasn't ready to talk about it. So I kind of discarded it. So I have to forgive myself for that. I also have to forgive the environment that, that my parents started in. And, they've come such a long way and been so much more successful than they should have been, knowing how kind of competitive their upbringing was. But I don't think people are doing that to themselves enough. I don't think people are forgiving themselves enough. Forgiveness is huge right now. We need to have grace and patience and forgiveness because we are all struggling with that shit that we all have and carry around anyway. And then you put COVID on top of it, and people are out thousands of dollars in income and sales revenue or whatever you're experiencing with the pandemic right now. And I don't think people acknowledge that their pain is real. And I think that's important. I think they have to acknowledge it. If you feel it, it's real. Whether or not you feel like it's as important as somebody else's experience is not really it doesn't really matter. That doesn't make you feel any better. And if you feel better, I think you're a more productive person. Like, it's good to feel better.
Yeah, I definitely see the product of your therapy a lot. I see.
Yeah, you know what? You sound. The tone of your voice is so compassionate and welcoming right now. When you said, yeah. I can definitely see you've been in a lot of fucking therapy, you fucking snowflake.
No.
I can totally. You know what's obvious to me? The obviousness is just undeniable that you have a friend who's like a counselor. You spent thousands of dollars talking about your feelings, bitch.
No. I mean, there are weeks that go by, and I can see that you are relieved after going to therapy. I'm like, that guy might be onto something. That's
well, I'm also extremely blessed that it cost me like $30 a pop. I do it every other week. I could probably do it every week.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that's worthwhile. I mean, I spend $30 a week on other things.
I also spend $30 a week on apparently Diet Coke. Motherfucking
it's
Diet Coke. Did we just do that? Did we just bring the Diet Coke back? Holy fuck. I just want to tell people that their pain is real and get a Diet Coke. And Joe, this is important for you too, I think. This last bit I wrote here, that don't task yourself with figuring out the future all at once. You want to know what I talked about in therapy this week? That was it, really. Was I don't have to decide what I'm going to do in April in regards to anything, because it's not here yet. Whether in regards to my career, things I want to accomplish around my home, things I want to do, in all sorts of... I can't make those decisions until they're available to be made. So we need to give ourselves permission to defer those until they happen. Give yourself permission to... Joe, you don't have to really know right now what you're going to be doing in this time next year, because that's not how your cycle works.
That is a thing for me.
It's not yet, because you have to worry about next semester, and then in the middle of next semester, the fall semester will come up for you to make those decisions. Don't put that pressure on yourself right now.
Yeah.
Especially the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. We're on Skanksgiving time right now, honey. It's 1 p.m. Some people are still at work. As we're recording this, they're going to go out tonight and they're going to get good and liquored up. They're going to wake up and they're going to smoke a bong, or they're going to have a pot, and then they're going to go eat mashed potatoes and share sodas with their grandmother.
Smoke a pipe.
It's good. They're going to roast a hog in the ground because of the pilgrims. And then they're all going to share one Diet Coke. And they're all going to get COVID from the communal vat of Thanksgiving Diet Coke.
The drum.
Jesus Christ. I feel better. I feel like a dark demon blanket has been lifted off of my shoulders.
Yeah.
Bandcamp is waiving their share on Friday, Black Friday. So if you want to buy any original music by Jacob V or Too Deep, you can find us there. There's also an EP I put out with my friends Battle Stag back in the day. You can find that on Bandcamp. If you do that on Black Friday, that's all of the artist's money, not the Bandcamp's money, and they're being so sweet and being generous this holiday season. So feel free to see us there. We have a live album. The performance is on our YouTube channel. And the album is everywhere you find music online: Amazon, Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, Deezer, Dozer. We also have original music on those platforms that is, studio quality. Follow Jacob V on your favorite Spotify platform. Please, please, please like, share, subscribe. You guys are really doing great. Our analytics are crazy. It doesn't make sense that you're here again, but we really, really appreciate it, and it's really helping my life, and hopefully you can let it help yours a little bit. I'm going to go make Joe clean up my house because I'm having my in-laws over.
Battle Skank!